Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm Jefferson Bryant and I want to talk to you about semi-gloss clear. I love a good semi-gloss clear coat. The problem with semi-gloss clears is that they are flattened with powder, usually talcum powder. So you'll mix in some talcum powder, mix it all up, spray it, everything looks great. Well, let's say you run out, you didn't mix quite enough. Now you have to mix more. Go and spray, the sheen is completely different. Maybe it's completely flat. Maybe it's a little more glossy. That's the problem with semi-gloss clears, is that cup to cup, there is no consistency. If you have an accident or damage a panel and need to respray it, you will never ever get that same sheen, so you have to spray the whole vehicle. That's why I like POR-15's matte clear. Instead of using powders, this is chemically flattened, so you don't have to worry about it chalking up after 6 months of sitting in the sun. If you have an issue and you need to respray, every single cup is gonna have the same sheen because you don't have to mix the flattener. It's already in here and it's done chemically, so it's always the same. That's why I love this stuff. We're gonna show you how to spray a couple of different projects. We've got a 65 Mustang fender back here. We're gonna show you how to prep and spray one of these to preserve patina. It looks really, really good. And we're gonna show you how to lay down some stripes. Using semi-gloss clear to add graphics is a really good way to break up a solid color on a big car, adding some depth and complexity to it without adding a bunch of different colors. There's a couple of things that you need to know about POR-15 matte clear. First, it is a spray-only product. Unlike most of the other POR-15 products, this requires that you use a paint gun. You cannot brush this on and expect good finish. The second part is that this is a waterborne paint. So you don't use solvents. It just has these two components. You mix it, spray it, and then you set a bunch of fans in your paint booth or in your garage, and you let it circulate the air. It takes about 55 minutes for this paint to dry to dust-free and 2 to 4 hours before you can handle it. The humidity in your area will greatly affect the drying time. So if you're in a really humid area, you might want to just let it sit overnight to dry up. You can spray this in a garage, a paint booth. It's really easy. There's no solvents. You do need to wear a mask. Treat this like any other paint because that's what it is. It's just waterborne. It is highly recommended that you use a brand new paint gun for waterborne paint. You do not want to use a gun that has shot polyurethane or anything else. Only waterborne. Let me say that again. It is highly recommended that you purchase a new paint gun that has never been used. You do not want to use an old gun that has sprayed solvent-based paint. It will cause issues with the waterborne application. So I recommend going and buying a cheap, inexpensive paint gun like this one from a certain well-known overseas tool company. This like 30, 40 bucks. Use it for your waterborne. It's perfect. Save your nice gun for your solvent paints. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pack all this up, head over to our paint booth and set up so we can show you guys how to do this for your project. We've got our 65 Mustang fender laid down. Now we have done nothing to this at all. You prep this like you would any other paint. So we've got gray Scotch-Brite because we want to preserve as much of this patina as we can. So we're just going to get this with a DA Scotch-Brite. You don't have a DA, you can do it by hand. It's no issue. Once you've prepped the surface and it's ready to go, now we're going to use some lacquer thinner and clean it off. The mix ratio is 2.4 to 1 by volume. We used a digital scale to weigh out our clear. Like all POR-15 products, matte clear should not be shaken. Instead, use a stir stick and stir thoroughly until blended. Gun setup is important. Use a 1.2 to 1.4 fluid tip. Set your pressure regulator between 20 and 45 PSI with 8 to 11 PSI at the cap. Spraying this matte clear is very easy. You do not need to be a professional. This stuff goes down very smooth, and you only need 2 coats. Our painter, Justin Johnson, is using a 60% overlap, which is recommended by POR-15 for this product. Now that the first coat is down, we're gonna let this rest for about 15 minutes to flash, and then we'll come back and we'll spray our second coat. POR-15 matte clear can be sprayed over any surface that can be painted with a standard clear coat. Once you're done, you're gonna wanna clean up all of your equipment. The nice thing about using waterborne paint, it cleans up with water. All right, we're back in the shop and everything's all done. I really like the way this fender came out. It's smooth. It kind of filled in the edges on all the chips, so your hand glides right over them. It sealed the Bondo. It sealed all the rust that's on this, so I know this is gonna last a long time on our car. This is UV stable, so you don't have to worry about this chalking up later on. It's gonna look great for years and years and years, and I could sit here and rub on this as much as I want, and it is not going to polish up. That's different from every other matte finish clear, is that burnishing protection. Really like that. Our stripes looked great on the trunk. That's a very easy way to break up a monochrome paint job, add a little bit of detail without adding more colors. In all, this job took us about 2.5 hours, including prep, mixing, and spray time. Make sure you check out POR-15.com for matte clear and all their other restoration products, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.